vehicle's actually all the way in the river, correct?
All the way in the river, yeah.
The 911 call reveals a difficult rescue for the parents of the 5 Browns when they crashed their car in Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Well, what do you think, Keith, about your poor Porsche? Oh,
that was such a nice car.
I know. Woo!
We went off of a 523-foot cliff, and 523 feet is just unbelievable. People die rolling off the freeway at 10 feet.
But they couldn't find us forever. We were freezing. We were soaking wet, sitting in the middle of a river. It splashed us.
Yeah, the car was on top of some
like,
rocks in the river, and water was coming
what's
in.
that ride at Disney
We woke
World?
up
Splash
and
Mountain.
we weren't conscious because
Yeah, we don't remember any of it. That's the weird thing. The first impact, we must have hit something, or the roof of the car hit us or something, knocked us out. I would be so messed up emotionally if I remembered any of it, and I don't. And neither do you.
Did you have something else you wanted to?
Oh yeah, do you have anything else? I'm sorry, I get carried away.
My parents had driven off a cliff. And I was stunned, but part of me was not surprised, because I feel like that was the way he was trying to run.
Going to the hospital, it was so painful in the moment.
Didn't know what to feel. I was very disconnected. We saw my mom first. She was pretty beat up, not looking good at all. And my dad was strangely not that hurt.
Deanie and Bruce, Keith and Lisa Brown.
We didn't know how big a story it would be or how many people would find out.
Suffering from hypothermia.
As we were waiting in the hospital, there were starting to be tweets from KSL.
Firefighters to their location.
All these thoughts were running through my head. Like probably a rush of adrenaline, like we have to take care of things now.
We were unable to get an update on Lisa Brown's condition.
It's gonna get a lot more complicated.
The story doesn't end there. We've learned the father is facing serious criminal charges.
I remember Melody calling me. She's like, it's happened.
Charges that involve allegations of child sex abuse.
Like my mind had just exploded, like, whoa.
Prosecutors filed those charges just days before the crash.
We were weirdly hopeful that it would just stay quiet.
Only a few may have known what Keith Brown did to his daughters, and cameras might not have surrounded him today if it weren't for a Monday night car crash in Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Whether it was intentional or not, and I think it was, obviously, they just ruined it for all of us.
I didn't know how I felt about them living or dying at that point.
Charging documents don't reveal much, except that Brown engaged in a sex act with a child under 14 years old.
I didn't have that choice of whether I wanted to speak out about it. It felt like I was exposed for everyone to see.
That was my greatest fear of anybody finding out. The press, of all people, I was like, no, no. And I took my phone and I just threw it against the wall.
Lisa Brown remains hospitalized, but her sister was by Keith Brown's side when he pleaded guilty to sodomy and child sex abuse of his daughters.
Now I would be walking out on stage in front of thousands of people and have them know the most painful parts of my life.
Desirae, Deondra, and Melody Brown have not spoken with reporters.
They may never elaborate on some aspects of this which are too personal.
In addition to that, just incredibly painful thing, are people gonna still want to hear us play, right? Are we gonna have to lose this thing that is such a part of us?
We didn't know whether it would destroy our career, if nobody would want to hear from us again, or look at us like we were a fraud.
But if he had died that night, there would always be a question mark. People would always question whether you guys were telling the truth.